allow people to spend the night. He really needs to investigate the families, because you just never know. I don't care if the kid's dying of cancer, dying of AIDS. You need to know who the parents are of that kid, no matter what.
Absolutely.
You know.
Did you want to say something?
My comment that I wanted to add to your comment was that, you know, I mean, I just have to say this, but you know, we're even hearing information that, well, we all know Michael this isn't the first cancer victim that he's helped. He spent a lot of his life, his whole life helping. One of the analogies that I make in the book, Redemption, I actually did a section on Michael Jackson, the humanitarian, and I wanted to do research from the year prior to the '93 allegation, which was '92, and then I took it 3 years after that of all the giving and all the things that he did with his life and giving and helping, and there was no difference from '93, '94, '95 as it was in '92. So even though he was under a tremendous amount of persecution, he was being persecuted, being labeled as a child molester, he was still helping hurting children all over the world. And I said, when I came to that realization, I said, this goes to the heart of who he is. He is a humanitarian.
Exactly.
Do you all see him as a victim in this, that he was just targeted by the media because of his well nature, but it's being misinterpreted as something else?
I definitely believe that it's being misinterpreted. I believe that not everybody in life are going to understand you or what you're going through. You know, everybody has different opinions, so I do believe that you know, it is being misinterpreted. You know, everybody judges people differently, so that's why I do understand that the things that happen in your private life should stay private, because I mean, people's going, you know, a lot of people don't want to take the time off, I think, to understand someone like Michael, you know, and by the things that he's been through, and you know, not having a childhood. I think that adds a lot to what, you know, the way he is now. You know, he loves children, you know, he loves climbing trees, and, you know, I mean, look at his, you know, his ranch. I mean, everything a child would ever want, and I think that's what he's living now, because that's what he missed out on his life. I mean, it's so simple to understand if you just took the time off to understand him, but that's what I think it is. He's being misjudged.
So I believe that Michael Jackson is innocent. I think that from his youth, he never really had the opportunity to really experience life as other regular young people have had the chance to do. And I think the time he lost, he tried to recreate it in his adulthood.
I like that Michael Jackson, Michael himself, like, the reason he has his childlike is as an artist, and I'm an artist, and when you have that mentality of a child, it opens your heart to create. And you know, and I feel him that lifestyle, it really helps. It's excellent for him to create.
It just seems like everything they say about Michael, they turn it into something negative.
Michael Jackson, people don't understand the difference between unique and weird. To me, there is a difference. Weird implies something negative. Michael Jackson is not weird. He is unique, and more of us should try and be unique. And I'm not saying be unique just like Michael, because then you wouldn't be unique.
Okay, what do you guys feel about Heal the World Foundation? A few years ago, Sting made an allegation that he wasn't doing anything for children. But what do you guys have to say about Heal the World Foundation, all the things he does in Africa and all over the world that we don't hear about?
Well, one thing we can say is that on April 2nd, when those 26, I believe it was, wives of the leaders of 26 African nations came to Washington and presented him with an award, it wasn't because he doesn't do anything. Even when he was a child, and I've done a lot of reading and research, and I've read that Michael, when he would get his allowance, the efforts that he's put forth, that he would buy candy for the other children, because he's always enjoyed making other people happy. And I don't think that any other entertainer could make the claim that Michael can honestly make, if he so chose to do that, that he would donate the entire profit from the sales of his tickets to his concerts to charitable organizations. You know, he's in the Guinness World Book of Records for supporting the most charities of any pop artist ever. He's just never done giving, and I think it's so unfair that after all of that, then people are never done taking from him.
People have their formulas of how they believe a person should be, and according to what they perceive you, in their mind they perceive you to be, they think that you should conduct yourself the way that they think you should carry yourself. And that's not necessarily so. Everyone has a different lifestyle, how they were raised up. You know, every nationality has a certain way they were brought up. So it doesn't matter, you know, what race you are. Everyone has something special the way they were brought up. And Michael Jackson just did not have that opportunity, because from a very young age, he had to perform, he had to be good at his game, and he was on top of the world, let's face it. You know, everybody, every household knew about Michael Jackson, and his let's face it, his music is great. Mm-hmm. You know, we all can remember something that we really like.
His music is full of love.
He just makes you, it's just a heart thing, huh? You just feel it in your heart.
Yes, that's right.
Speechless. It's remarkable how he sings that. It's just as if it brought me into a new morning. When you hear it, it's just like you know, when you not wishing for rain and you want to see sunshine. Well, that song Speechless, it does it for me.
I heard a common thread between all of you about the music. But most people would say, because of what's happening in the media, they would say, well, how do you know for sure, though? You don't know him personally, but you just heard his music. So how does this correspond with your idea that he's innocent?
This is Burris, and the first thing that I would do is I would say, how do you know he's not? And
people say, well, he has power and he can do whatever he wants. We can't see what he's doing.
I feel that he has power, and we can't see what he's doing, but if we're not too lazy and we want to take the time, we will read about what he's doing. We can listen to what he say he's doing, and my question would be, why is his word not as good as the next person's word? But then I would probably, if I had it available with me, give that person Michael Jackson's book, Dancing the Dream. Or I would give them his Invincible CD, where he sings the song of the lost children. He said,
Supposing the audience hasn't heard those things, what have you heard from that book and that song that makes you feel that he's innocent?
Well, it's the high regard that he holds children. He holds them up in such high regard. He's concerned about them. He loves them, and he just doesn't do it with word of mouth. He loves them with all that he does. I believe for this reason, and for as far as committing the crimes, I think that if anyone were to read his books, listen to his music, and listen to his interviews, the things that he said, open mind, they could not help but to believe that he is innocent. Michael Jackson holds children in the highest regard. As a matter of fact, he says when he looks at a child, he sees the face of God. And you know, if you're looking at the face of God, you're not going to hurt that person.